During the primary and tonight, there's been talk of the one big tax vote, but actually there's about 27 tax increases or fee increases that occurred while you were in Richmond. You voted for mandatory vaccination of 12-year-old girls with the Gardasil vaccine, which actually is no longer happening to my understanding, but anyway, it was my understanding you held up tort reform in subcommittee, and that you also voted for domestic partnership benefits, and I think you changed that at a second time, so you might want to address that. But anyway, my question and concern is, all we know about you is your voting record. And last night I asked you some hard questions, and I appreciate your answers last night. We want to know about your heart. But the pattern that I see in those votes, except for maybe the one that was in error, is that there appears to be some part of you that trusts government, that government can make decisions regarding our daughters, tax fees and that kind of thing. So you started to show me a new side of you last night, and I'd like to see more tonight.
And thank you for that question. And let me tell you, I wish people would not trust everything that they read on the internet, because the votes that have been attributed to me during the primary process, I mean, there were so many inaccuracies in that, and you've restated them here for everybody, and I understand that, and I appreciate that. But for instance, I have never voted for mandatory vaccination, period, end of story. That is just not true. Now, it was talked about on the campaign trail. People love to talk about it, but it was absolutely not true. The bill that I voted for was not in any way mandatory whatsoever. And that's a great example, I think, of how in the heat of a primary election, people's records get distorted. I think that if you go back and look at the accurate record and the truthful record that I have in the General Assembly, you'll find somebody who is as conservative as anybody in this room. And you can look, you don't have to ask me about it, you can look to the groups that keep track of these things. The Family Foundation, give me a lifetime 95 rating. Virginia Society for Human Life, 100% lifetime rating. The NRA, lifetime A rating. I have a serious record of taking positions that are consistent with the people I represent, and that's a very conservative part of Virginia, and that's the 19th Senate District. I will tell you this, in this last General Assembly session, and I don't know, in this last General Assembly session, we had to make tough decisions about cutting our budget and making tough decisions. And I can tell you this, if we can take the same discipline, and I'm committed to doing this, taking the same discipline that is required to balance and close a $4 billion gap in the state of Virginia, if we can take that same discipline to Washington, we can solve the problems in Washington. But only if we take that same discipline, those values, those core principles, and I'm committed to them. I can tell you that I'm committed to them. Be proud to have your support.